Hello, my Fort Hays State friends. My name is Shay Twinter, and this is my submission for Module 13 for EDL 850. Tort law means individuals are liable for the consequences of their own conduct when such actions result in injury to others. And that is from our reading. So the first example that I have is Mitchell versus Cedar Rapids Community School District. A special needs student left school before the end of the day and was assaulted in subsequent activities that occurred off campus. Basically, the school was found liable because they did not notify the parent that the student had left. I'm guessing attendance issues. I do find that in our school district, we have definitely been cracking down on how we do roll and how accountable we are for making sure that roll is being taken every hour, and that if a student is marked absent, that the teacher calls and notifies the front office that student isn't there, and we try and track them down to make sure that we are keeping 100% accuracy in our attendance. But this particular student was a special needs student, and the courts basically said that she should have had a para who was supervising her. The teachers had noticed a relationship between her and an older student who was also a special needs student, and they were both gone at the same time, and that's what resulted in the assault. So Randy versus Murdoch Joint Unified School District. This school district was accused of giving a falsely positive recommendation of a school administrator when it was known that this particular employee had already had issues with proper conduct with female students. It is not the school district that hired him that was being accused. It was the one that gave the positive recommendation. This particular employee had a record, but it had been kept quiet, and it turned out that the employee assaulted many female students, and the school district sued because there were so many people who were hurt. Our school district has a very strict recommendation process for sending recommendations out. I am not as familiar about its recommendations coming in, but I do know that they have a very strict background check policy, and they do an interview with the person writing the recommendation. In general, the people who are in administrative positions have very specific rules when talking with students on a one-on-one basis that prevent those areas in which an employee could possibly assault another student. It keeps everything in the open, with no closed doors, unless it's, very sensitive information. And if it's closed doors, it's always two people and there's always a window, so that it's very open and honest. Rollins versus Concordia Parish School Board. A young girl was on a merry-go-round, which you never see anymore, I'm sure because of these situations. And a substitute teacher was watching a class that was about double the size that she normally had, so that another teacher had time to go and work. And she noticed that the merry-go-round was going too fast, and she stopped and told the girls that they needed to stop doing it so fast. And in the middle of this incident, there was an argument that broke out on the basketball court. She stopped what she was saying with the girls on the merry-go-round and went to the boys on the basketball court to tell them to stop fighting. And one of the girls fell off the merry-go-round and broke her leg. Now, the courts did find that this particular student was 50% liable because she was the one on the merry-go-round pushing and not following teachers' instructions, but they also found the district 50% liable as well because there was not adequate supervision. My school district has been doing a big push on increasing supervision. at all times. If I'm not in my classroom supervising students, I'm in my hallway supervising students, and we are very aware that these liability cases are increasing, and we're doing our part to make sure that our school district doesn't become one of them. JS versus Blue Mountain School District. It's interesting because I currently am involved in a situation where a former student took offense to me, didn't like how I run my classroom, and has decided to create pictures using my school district picture off of the website. And basically, we've been told that there's nothing that the school can do, and they're turning it over to the authorities. But a principal discovered a false MySpace page. It's been a while since we've had MySpace, created by a student that was derogatory and vulgar and included his photograph in the district website. Because it caused such a commotion at the school, he suspended the student for 10 days, which was supported by the superintendent. However, the minor's family sued for a breach of First Amendment rights, and I think this one is still being decided now. Like I said, we're currently kind of dealing with this new age of technology and photoshopping and whatnot. Um, the line between First Amendment rights and something that's more criminal is being drawn as we speak. Ludman versus Davenport Assumption High School. Ludman was a baseball player. He was watching the game from the dugout, and he was in the opening of the dugout when a foul ball struck him in the head, which cracked his skull. He sued the district because he didn't feel like the dugout was adequate enough. The school claims it was not liable since he was standing in the opening and not behind the fencing, and he was not watching the play that was happening. This one was reversed and sent back to the district courts on a technicality, and they are retrying this case again. And here are my references, and thank you for watching.